Alter, our Red Zerg player, down one game. If he loses now, it's the end of his GSL career unless he can re-qualify.
Leenock for you.
Leenock for you. He's got a good amount of fans in the audience.
Yeah.
There he is. He looks pretty determined now, actually. That's a determined Leenock face.
That's a determined
right
Leenock face.
He wants to win, and here's someone else who wants to win. Taking a pretty decisive first game, he is.
Creator Prime V.
Creator
Prime.
And this just goes to show you, too, just how many great players there are out there in Korea that we haven't really seen a lot of yet in the GSL just because the qualifiers are so difficult to get through.
Yeah, now Creator is someone who we haven't really seen in the GSL almost at all.
No.
He had a couple random losses in the team league. He got through a guy named Puzzle to come to Code A. That's how he qualified. And anyway, but yeah, Puzzle actually is a decent player from what I understand. I don't know a whole lot about him either, but he's gotten some wins in other team leagues. So, you know, if he was able to beat Puzzle, he's decent is the point here.
That's right. Yeah, I always see Puzzle pretty high on the Korean ladder, so at least he does do very well in that regard. Laddering can, of course, be pretty different than the tournament environment, but he is pretty respected. I don't think anyone hits Puzzle on the ladder and isn't a little bit worried.
No, I'm really glad. Sorry about that. I'm really glad to see Leenock expanding quickly this time, especially on this map. Pretty obvious, but I really think he just fell too far behind at the beginning of the last game, going for 16, 18 lings or something like that without doing any damage early on.
I think we're going to see some cannon aggression, though, from Creator. He is saving up some minerals. He may decide to just expand, but then again, he did get the Forge first. Looks like I'm totally wrong. He is just getting the Nexus. No cannons at the natural. A lot of Protoss players lately have been doing that.
He may have just not scouted. I didn't see the exact timing, but he may have just not scouted Leenock at that point and decided to get the Forge just in case. Just in case of another. I think Leenock went for a 10 pull or something last game.
Yep. Now, Creator Prime, this type of opening, a lot of Zerg players are really tempted to just go Roaches. A lot of them even deciding to go Roach all in. Now, on a map like Teldrim Ultra, it's way too big to really make that work effectively. I've seen it work once or twice, but most players will just play standard, play macro. So at this point, we're kind of waiting to see what each player kind of is planning to do.
Yeah. Now, see, the pool is up, but Creator has that probe in Leenock's base still. Nothing has come out to actually kill it yet. So he actually doesn't have to build any cannons yet. You can see he's building his gateway, building another pylon to get his wall completed. He doesn't need to actually build a cannon until he sees Zerglings, or it looks like he's going to roam his probe out suspecting Queens are going to kill it very soon. But very smart play by Creator, being conservative, not spending the money until he absolutely has to, and now he can actually get his core down pretty quickly as well, and he got that Nexus up earlier. So, very smart play.
I'm really curious to see what Creator goes for next. Now, he did go for air tech last game, and there's been a lot of Protoss lately that have been deciding to do that. It's something that's gained a lot more popularity, especially outside of Korea, too. Cruncher is a really good example of a Protoss player that likes to go air quite a bit. So it's really catching on. We're seeing sort of a transition from a lot of big gateway play to a lot more air tech lately, and especially after Forge expands. That's when you've really been seeing it quite a bit, and there we go. There's the Stargate for Creator right now. We're kind of learning about his style as we go, and that's actually, you know, one of my favorite things about casting. I love casting players that I haven't really seen before, because it's kind of like opening a present on Christmas morning. Now, sometimes you just get socks, but sometimes you get like a Transformer or something.
Sometimes you get another copy of StarCraft 2 so you can make Smurf account.
That's right. Sometimes you get another copy of StarCraft 2. And who wouldn't want another copy of StarCraft 2? I don't know. I have several myself.
Yeah, no, I gotta say, Creator's playing very well. I kind of hoping that he does well, because it's good to see new blood, good to see new players doing well. But I was just looking back here, and Leenock, I kind of feel bad for him now that I realize this. He actually did very well in Code A last season. He was knocked down to Code A previously by Bjorn and Live Forever.
That's right.
And last season, he got all the way to the up and down matches, and ended up in an up and down group with Marine King Prime and Nestea.
That's right. That was about as much of a group of death as you could really see in the up and down matches, although there were so many good players. I mean, MVP was in the up and down matches as well. Oh, and I wanted to mention too, Leenock last season, Code A was actually knocked out by Lucira, who did end up winning Code A last season and then ended up in Code S himself.
Yeah.
Now we see Creator doing a little bit of poking around with that Phoenix. He's going to check out Leenock. He's going to see a little bit of an early Spire too. Not terribly early, but a little bit early.
Yeah, it's actually almost complete. And Leenock is pooling a lot of gas, actually. He probably is not going to produce anything for a moment. And when that Spire completes, he's going to have enough for about 7 mutas. And so he's probably going to try and take control of the air. I like that because even though Creator has been making Phoenixes, he doesn't have a critical mass yet. So Leenock can actually still take control of the air very easily. There's only 4, it's going to be 4 Phoenixes in a moment.
Well, Phoenixes can micro pretty well against mutas, but if Leenock can get out enough of them, you can just overpower, especially if the Phoenixes get kind of clumped up. You can get the bounce from the Glaive Worm attack from the Mutalisk.
And if you're harassing with mutas, the Phoenixes, they can micro, but if then the Phoenixes have to come to the mutas. And that gives the mutas an opportunity to attack.
Now the other advantage of your opponent going air as well, if you're a Zerg player, is that you can take a few more bases a little bit quicker on a big map like that. We actually just saw Leenock put down his 3rd. That's a really good decision if you're a Zerg player and you see that many Phoenixes out on the field. Just take another base. They're not obviously going to lift your hatchery, so why not? Now,
not yet. Maybe in the next patch.
Yeah, who knows? Just rip it right out of the ground and just toss it off the map. We do see Blink being researched by Creator Prime. And a lot of people are worried about Void Ray Colossus right now in the matchup, but I think that Blink Stalkers are really the thing that in the mid to late game causes a lot of problems for not just Zerg, but Zerg and Terran. Just because you can keep your army alive that much longer than your opponent. Very, very difficult to go up against huge amounts of Blink Stalkers. Usually we see Protoss players in the late game after they may lose their Colossi and Phoenix to Corruptors and things like that, and they'll just repopulate with huge amounts of Stalkers.
Yeah, now hold that thought because the mutas have popped. He just produced 10 mutas, and they are flying away across the map. The Phoenixes are going to try and harry them a little bit on their path to his base.
Or just fly past.
Or just fly past. That works too.
Like, hi guys, enjoy the base.
He is up to 8 Stalkers now, and Blink is completed, so he actually is probably going to be able to deal with these mutas fairly easily.
Leenock needs to be careful. A Blink underneath those mutas could be really bad news.
Especially if it comes from the other side with Phoenixes.
That's right. So now the Phoenixes of Creator are kind of mulling about the base of Leenock. I believe they're in the main right now. No, where are they? They're back down the bottom of the map. My mini-map's a little bit cut off. A little bit blurry, but I'm okay. I didn't wear my glasses at all today either, so I can't see anything. I'm just having our producer tell me what's going on in the game.
Yeah, we both forgot our glasses today.
Yeah, so if we miss things, it's because we can't see. Sorry. Some Zerglings moving across the map, I've just been told.
Boxer actually once played a show match against a blind StarCraft player.
I heard about that.
They blindfolded him for the first 10 minutes or something like that.
Really?
Anyway, a little bit of harassment going on again with these Mutalisks. He's got a decent clump built up now.
Yep.
15 mutas it looks like, so that is actually getting pretty steep, but about double the amount of Stalkers is probably going to be easy to deal with that. So.
And Stalkers aren't actually that great against mutas, but it's just the volume of Stalkers. Oh, some links for Leenock. Getting a little bit caught by those Stalkers. That's not good. He's going to need every unit he can.
I'm a little bit worried about Leenock's 3rd. He's got plenty of Spine Crawlers at his front, but he put his 3rd off to the side here instead of next to his natural. So it's going to be hard to defend. And Creator knows about it, and he's in fact kind of angling that way. Well, maybe not. Maybe
well, you'd have to be.
Ooh, is he going to blink up to the natural with the Phoenixes?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, there he goes.
And the Lings have to go all the way around while these Stalkers do lots of damage. Mutas coming in. The Lings cannot get a very good surround because of that location. He can actually also blink back. He's actually not blinking back very well. Finally doing some blink damage. Mutas owning all of the Phoenixes, though, and starting to work away at the Stalkers as the Lings soak up damage.
Yeah, Leenock not doing too bad at all there, despite the fact that his Lings really couldn't get a surround on that or anything. Not losing a whole ton of Mutalisks, and the supply favoring Leenock a little bit right now, but here comes an attack at the 3rd base of Leenock. Can he defend this one? I don't know, it's going to be pretty close. The Queen goes down, and the Stalkers just kind of milling about there. Leenock trying to cut off reinforcements, but a blink almost under the Mutalisks, and Leenock is definitely in trouble here.
He's slowly losing Mutalisks. He's down to a very small clump. He's got Lings in there as well. He really needs to engage with those Lings, and he does have several Zerglings now diving a bit more. Stalkers joining the fray are going to pick off the weak Mutalisks. And a couple Zerglings are going to get some kills on Stalkers unless they run away from the battle. That's an option as well.
Yeah,
but he managed to save the third for the moment, but lost some drones also.
Yeah, I'm really surprised he was actually able to hold that third. I think Creator Prime just didn't want to sack that many units to doing that at this point in time. He could just be back a little bit.
Well,
more
in.
Zerglings getting caught by the Stalkers.
Oh no, 3 kills. Zerglings rallied to the front, unfortunately.
Yep. So right now it looks like that third base, Leenock might just go for a counter attack.
Third base is going to go down. Yeah, he's not even trying to save it at this point. He is going for a counter with Zerglings and Mutas.
Leenock producing a lot of Lings right now and more Mutas. Melee attacks level 2 almost finished. I don't know if this counterattack is going to work. Leenock basically all in at this point, although he is producing another hatchery, so maybe not as all in as I thought. But here comes the Mutalisks.
The Stalkers are running back to this battle, but they might get there a little bit too late. Nice picking off a sentry there. He's got army superiority right now for the next 5 seconds until these Stalkers get back up there. And they blink in and force the Mutas back.
So Creator able to move across a large map like Tal'Darim pretty quick with Blink Stalkers. Now if we take a look at the army supply count too, both players pretty
both
much
players
even.
exact even.
Yeah.
Except for one, I guess, so it's not really exact, but
it's even enough. It's even enough. It's okay. So Leenock trying to rebuild his third. Is that weapon attacks level 3 going up for Creator or level 2? Okay.
Yeah, now critically, because he didn't lose all those drones, they're actually even in drones right now, harvesters right now. So despite the fact that Leenock's going to have a third here in a moment, it's actually not going to give him really very much additional income over what Creator has right now, and he's actually going to plant down a third as well.
I think Creator just destroyed his own pylon in order to let his probe out to build another base, and Leenock's going to be right there with Zerglings.
Oh, is he going to force a cancel? Does force a cancel.
All right. And the interesting thing is when Creator had to take out that
in
pylon,
the main, Muta's actually flying all the way into the main base.
Main base of Creator Prime.
There we go. Muta's picking off tons of probes. Might be able to get the Twilight Council, which is actually not very important at the moment.
Those Mutas, though, able to chase away a lot of the probes at least, but they're going to go after the Cyber Core, and it looks like a counterattack from Creator as well. He's going for it. This may be a bit of a base trade.
It may indeed. The Zerglings are going to work on those probes. Muta's taking out the cannon, but in the meantime, Stalker's going up to the natural, blinking in so they can get massive amounts of damage. None of the Stalkers set in the back, not firing. He's getting tons and tons of hits here. Hasn't done any major damage yet, only defenses at this point. Tons of spine crawlers going up in the main.
Will they get up in time, though?
Leenock just wants to trade bases, throw up all of his drones and spine crawlers, and hope to hold out with that while he kills everything in Creator's base.
Here we go. The spine crawlers up at Leenock's base are almost finishing. There they are.
Spine crawlers popping out.
Getting up just in time. Will it be enough? Will Creator be able to blink enough to survive this? Stalker count lowering. Leenock still going to work on the base of Creator Prime. This is so close, but the spine crawlers are falling.
Neither player has any production right now. It is just down to these two armies. Transfusion on the Queen. Their Stalkers are low on health at this point. A lot of them blinking back. They still have some healthy ones, though. The main base of Creator is just completely in tatters. There's no way Creator can come back from this.
And Leenock takes another base.
Leenock does have another base, but his other base on the left got picked off as well. So I think, there we go, GG
there it is.
From Creator as his main base falls. Could not find all of Leenock's bases fast enough. Leenock, not ready to go down yet, not ready. He only gets eliminated by the best. He is not going to get eliminated by a newbie.
Creator really kicking himself for doing that counterattack. Certainly could have defended, could have probably made the game go longer and ended up taking it that way, possibly, but it's one of those decisions you make, you go for it, doesn't quite work out. There's another game to play yet, though, so Creator definitely is not out yet, but Leenock.
Leenock's not in yet either. But you can tell he had the fire that game. He was not, he was behind a little bit, a couple points. He was getting harried, harassed by Phoenixes, by Stalkers killing off his third, but he did not give up and said, you know what, I'm going to take this game.
And we talked about the decision-making with Leenock, too. There we see Creator getting a little bit of a talk from the Prime coach, I believe. But Leenock, we saw the decision making too. He knew if he kept pressuring the base of Creator Prime, kept going for that counterattack and saying, hey, let's just base trade, he knew that he could prevent more Stalkers from coming out faster while still producing more units back at his base, getting all those Spine Crawlers. He knew that he could soften up those Stalkers enough that even if that base was taken out, his Mutalisks would have been able to come back with the Speedlings that remained and took out those Stalkers. Creator knew that too. That's why he GG'd. But again, just great decision-making from Leenock. But I don't know, is it going to be enough? Creator seems like a pretty beastly opponent himself. So
yeah, that was an awesome counterattack, but this has actually been a really close match. You know, it's really easy, and I admit I've been guilty of this myself. It's really easy to kind of underestimate the new players just because we haven't seen them before.
Oh, yeah,
but
extremely.
They really have had to claw their way tooth and nail through countless very powerful nerds to get to this point. And we are seeing that we should not underestimate them indeed, because Creator
Absolutely.
showing some really solid play. You know, it's not just like some of the Code matches. Sometimes, you know, they do well and they win, but they don't show really solid play for it. I think Creator's a step above that.
Yeah, he's obviously shown himself to be a very competent Protoss. Really, in StarCraft 2 now, anyone, though, can take a game off anyone at this high level. That's why the GSL is so great. And we're going to get Game 3 going really quickly. It has actually just started, so we're going to move in just a moment. And we're going to see who's going to advance and who's going to be out of the GSL. Let's find out.